The legacy media is losing out as they shout out the doors, the White House kicking them out of the press pool, and they'll be there no more. Well, perhaps that's a little too far. They still get to be a part of the press pool, but they no longer get to pick when it is their turn, and they no longer get to stick right beside the side of the president. Today, we'll tell you why they're not having a good time and why it is the rise of the new media, as well as a surprising voice to some clamoring for the return to gatekeeping. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. We are happy to have you. Coming to you, by the way, from a studio in somewhere sunny USA. And it is a zippity-doo-dah kind of day, but not for the legacy media. Once again, losing. And, Fox News now even bluesing because they consider themselves, apparently, allegedly, part of that same legacy media. Get ready. We're going to connect some dots you may not have ever seen before and explain to you why this matters so much more than just a few angry journalists no longer getting to be right beside the president. Click the like button. Let's dive in right now. All right, folks, let's go to the next piece of news here we've got, and it's coming to you from the BBC. And, arbiters of truth, they are not, but we find it funny to cover it from here, and you'll see why. This is by Bernd de Boosman, Jr. It says, White House takes control of press pool that covers Trump. Now, folks, the story here that you need to know is that the legacy media is outraged. They are apoplectic about this because their gatekeeping has finally been burned to the ground. Here's what it says. The White House plans to determine which news outlets have access to President Donald Trump taking control from an association of journalists after more than a century. The changes announced by Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt on Tuesday mean the White House will determine which outlets participate in the pool that covers presidential events and shares material with other media outlets. The rotation of pool reporters was previously determined by the White House Correspondents Association, which said the decision tears at the independence of a free press. The surprise announcement comes as the Associated Press fights to restore its access to the presidential events after it was blocked. That wasn't blocked. It was just said you don't get your special chair anymore because you're not doing what is being asked of you in terms of being a neutral arbiter of the truth. The White House press team and this administration will determine who gets to enjoy the very privileged and limited access in spaces such as Air Force One and the Oval Office, Leavitt said at a news briefing on Tuesday. Going down just a little bit, legacy media outlets who have been here for years will still participate in the pool, but new voices are going to be welcomed in as well. Now, who might those new voices be, folks? Well, guess what? It's the new media. It is indeed YouTubers, streamers, podcasters, and more. And that's what the legacy media is terrified of. They were able to gatekeep. That is what gave them the opportunity to have any relevance whatsoever because they have no merit. The only thing that kept them in place was the fact that they could hold you out of their places. Take a look at this. We'll play the video. This is from the press secretary, Carolyn Leavitt, as she talks about this announcement. And, we've got an organization that is outraged on the backside of this that might surprise some of you. It doesn't surprise me, but it might surprise some of you that they're outraged too because they also are part of the legacy media. Here's the original video.
A group of DC-based journalists, the White House Correspondents Association, has long dictated which journalists get to ask questions of the President of the United States in these most intimate spaces. Not anymore. I am proud to announce that we are going to give the power back to the people who read your papers, who watch your television shows, and who listen to your radio stations. Moving forward, the White House press pool will be determined by the White House press team. Legacy outlets who have participated in the press pool for decades will still be allowed to join, fear not, but we will also be offering the privilege to well-deserving outlets who have never been allowed to share in this awesome responsibility. Just like we added a new media seat in this briefing room, legacy media outlets who have been here for years will still participate in the pool, but new voices are going to be welcomed in as well. As part of these changes, we will continue the rotation amongst the 5 major television networks to ensure the president's remarks are heard far and wide around this world. We will add additional streaming services which reach different audiences than traditional cable and broadcast. This is the ever-changing landscape of the media in the United States today. We will continue to rotate a print pooler who has the great responsibility of quickly transcribing the president's remarks and disseminating them to the rest of the world. And we will add outlets to the print pool rotation who have long been denied the privilege to partake in this experience, but are committed to covering this White House beat. We will continue to rotate a radio pooler and add other radio hosts who have been denied access, especially local radio hosts who serve as the heartbeat of our country. And we will add additional outlets and reporters who are well suited to cover the news of the day and ask substantive questions of the President of the United States, depending on the news he is making on that given day.
So this is, I think, it's not at the level of discovering that USAID may have been subsidizing the journalism industry and paying for populations to be deceived. But this is a huge deal because this actually diminishes the value that these mega corporations have with their newsrooms. Because now companies like Joe Rogan Podcast, the Joe Rogan Experience, Megyn Kelly, PBD, the Young Turks, the All In Podcast, Timcast, Blaze, Daily Wire, Breitbart, et cetera, they're going to have access to what was formerly only for the Associated Press, CNN, and other prestigious purveyors of falsehoods. So very interesting here. I want to hand it to the panel real quick to get your thoughts on what this means and the ramifications, what a big deal it is. And then I'm going to show you an organization that is angry about this that I think will surprise many of our viewers. Panel, your thoughts on what's happening here with the press secretary driving a stake in the heart of the legacy media and their ability to hold all the rest of the media out.
This is absolutely massive, massive news because the White House Correspondents Association, I've had deep problems with them for years now. Like you said before at the top of this segment right here, they have gatekept a lot of new media and a lot of voices that would love to be in the Brady room and so forth and listening to the press secretary deliver information, ask questions, but they have been basically kept out of that room. You'll remember back in 2020, I believe it was, Chanel Rion from OAN was kicked out of the White House Correspondents Association, denied access to the Brady room and that White House press briefing room that you saw the secretary give those comments in because she asked a question that they didn't like. And she had to be, Chanel Rion that is, had to be invited as a guest by Kayleigh McEnany, the White House press secretary at the time, to even attend those press briefings, and she had to stay in the hallway and so forth. There's a 9-member or so panel, a lot of them made up of journalists and anchors from media outlets that you've heard of that basically gatekeep everybody else from actually attending. And that's why the new media seat was such a big deal. But this right here is absolutely massive. I believe it comes in the wake of this annual Associated Press kind of a snafu here, maybe some judgments on that end. I think it's a huge win for the dissemination of information going forward from the White House.
Yeah, their strength was their access. That's how media, these outlets, AP, CNN, their strength was in their access. The fact that they could get access to all of the president directly. We can ask the questions we want to ask. We're right there in the room with them. And, that was their strength. That was the strength of their organizations. And now this is them losing that strength, or at least having to share that strength with other outlets. And that's why they're freaking out. Because they know that deep down, they're really not as talented as the rest of us. All right. They're not as talented as the people that they have to compete with. So they just want to exclude the competition, like Vash would just say, gatekeeping. They want to gatekeep the competition. Don't let them in. But because, the Trump organization had to go through everything that Trump had to go through because of the mainstream legacy media and all of their incorrect reporting. You're seeing now that, okay, I'm just going to open it up to everybody. And what does that do? That, again, that saps them of their prestigious strength that they had. So, yeah, this is a beautiful thing. This is an absolutely amazing thing. And we need to see more of this across the board in all aspects of media, because the only way that you can get truth is where everybody gets to, have a voice and speak. And, the more, regular mainstream media loses that grip and it starts to slip away and it starts to go towards the new media, you're going to see more and more truth because people can see through the lies, So we need real reporters that can actually, speak the truth out there. And yeah, this is a beautiful thing. Absolutely.
Derek, are you suggesting that this was essentially an information cartel and that's been broken now?
Oh yeah. Again, if Pro, I know you're working on your correspondence for that Park Place out there. I know you're hard at work on that. Imagine if you have the opportunity to get out there and speak and talk directly to the president, directly to the president. What questions can you ask? What can you do? But the information that comes through all of these media outlets, it's geared in one direction. And then the story, even if you didn't read or watch the press conference, it's geared in one direction. The paper's direction, CNN's direction. How does CNN want to spin this story? So now we're seeing it opened up wide, where we're just going to get people that say, hey, I'm just here to tell the truth, and I don't really have a spin. And so that's the important thing. We're going to get real reporters, on the ground floor, people that we, relate to, giving us the information. This is the media losing its strength, and I love it, man. This is absolutely phenomenal stuff.
Well, take a look at this. Flashback out of Fox News. Biden also changed the White House press pool, cutting off more than 440 reporters' credentials. Of course, that was done to the conservatives, so nobody really cared. And lest you think that Fox News is on the side of those who are cheering on this decision, think again. Take a look at this. It's out of X. Jackie Heinrich, who is, she's the lead reporter with Fox News at the White House. Jackie Heinrich says, this move does not give the power back to the people. It gives power to the White House. The White House Correspondents Association is democratically elected by the full-time White House press corps. WHCA has determined pools for decades because only representatives from our outlets can determine resources all those outlets have, such as staffing, in order to get the president's message out to the largest possible audience, no matter the day or hour. Let's just say that the responses have been quite sour. Let's just say that Fox News, having their chief correspondent saying this, not going well. In fact, Crystal Fallon says a disclosure here that you are a member on the board of the WHCA would be appropriate. Yep. Michael Morrison says, if your colleagues actually reported the news, this would never have happened. P.T. Ward says, it's safe to say that you guys failed as a conglomerate at your job. Refusal to cover Biden's mental decline was obvious to everyone with two eyeballs. Brandon Morello says, independent journalists were ignored by the last administration. When did you speak out on their behalf? Notice, folks, I'm just reading them in order. So the response has not been great. And Fox News choosing the side of the legacy media and being part of that gatekeeping, it would appear, at least if they are in line with what Jackie is saying, and Jackie is not a small fry when it comes to Fox News. Anyone else here confused by the Fox News strategy?
Well, I want to share this here, Pro. This is the White House Correspondents member board here. You can see Jackie's name on that board, but these are the people that decide what you hear coming out of the White House and what questions get asked to both the press secretary and also the president. Right here, let's just go through these a little bit. Oh, look, Eugene Daniels from Politico. He's the president. Well, that's interesting. Vice President, CBS News.
That Prince? Who? What?
That's it. It's definitely a facsimile. Treasurer, Bloomberg, board member, Getty Images. Oh, okay. Obviously, Jackie there at Fox News, member, Reuters, BBC, ABC. These are the people that determine who's going to be in that room. And like I said, whose questions are going to be asked right here. Now, there probably should be a process going forward in order to ensure that a range of voices are heard. I'm not saying that there is no space for some type of regulatory body like this that's independently done. But this was not what this is. This is a gatekeeping exercise right here. And once you understand more about how an organization like this is run, you understand very deeply what was going on here.
You say the one guy looks like Prince. The guy at the last one looks like Robin Williams. White House press pressing down on the people.
The thing that I want to point out in all of this is, in a good faith world where everyone is operating in a place from fairness, having the White House correspondents be independent is a good thing. But when the press works basically in tandem with the Democrat Party, that's when it's unacceptable. When you have somebody who is not doing the duty of what is this, the fourth estate here? I always forget which in the number we're talking about here. But the press's job is to hold the president accountable. And that works when they're holding all political parties accountable instead of this, Jake Tapper's obviously got this ridiculous book coming out where he's talking about how Biden, the cover up over Biden not being mentally fit. Like, oh, well, where was that, in July of last year,
And you just watch how fast that the left establishment is going to destroy Jake Tapper.
I don't know. I don't know that they will. At this point, I mean, if anybody's names get named in that, yes, absolutely. But if he keeps it vague,
But I don't know if you all know this, but are you aware, Jonas, who is most likely at this point to be replacing Joy Reid at MSNBC?
Is it Rachel Maddow?
No, it's Eugene Daniels.
Oh, you're right.
What?
You're right. Yeah, I saw this. You're right.
We're gonna get a lot more familiar with that guy.
All right.
Oh.
Well, careful on the pronouns, Jonas. Let's play. I'm kidding. But
I was like, seriously?
No, seriously. They're not going to like you for that one. Let's play this for a minute. I want everybody to see who the head of the White House correspondence is. This is who Fox News is telling you, I guess, should be in control of who gets access to the president.
Title is killing me already.
The guy on the right is Eugene Daniels. Here we go.
Release their party platform, 92 pages. That is essentially the same thing they've been using. Even Biden's name and Biden's second term is in there, I think, like 20 times in the document. I think when you talk about policy, she talks about it in little bits and pieces. And the way that one of my colleagues put it really well, and is a deep reference, is continuity with change, right? That it'll look very similar to how people want it. There'll be a little tinkering around the edges, but she's in a very awkward position. I talked to a bunch of chiefs of staffs for Al Gore, and about how at the time when he was running for president, how you figure out how to differentiate yourself without distancing yourself from the man that you have to go meet in the Oval Office with the next day. And this is clearly a place in which they're kind of struggling to do so.
All right, so that's who Eugene Daniels is.
Is this guy for real? Is this a real person? This is not a joke.
From yesterday, MSNBC taps White House Correspondents Association President Eugene Daniels for Weekend Show. So Fox News over here with
I feel like he's going to take off that wig and it'll be Jordan Peele,
Jackie Heinrich is apparently with Fox News. I mean, listen, what a dumb move for Fox News. At least don't make it public. They're advocating for this guy, the replacement for Joy Reid.
She's on the board. She has to.
Yeah, she has to rock with her people. Listen, I have always felt that Fox News
I'm gonna rock with you.
They're right there with the rest of the legacy media. Maybe they're more on the conservative side, but they still want to do the exact same things that MSNBC and CNN do when it comes to gatekeeping information. They're no different. They're right in alignment with them. So I'm not surprised to hear that Fox News would be pushing back against new media joining the fray. They are just as much at threat as everybody else. Again, maybe they're a little bit better than some of these other outlets in terms of reporting information. But they still want to be the only game in town, at least, that's reporting the real information. They don't want any competition. Competition takes eyeballs away from Fox News. So that's why they're, saying what they're saying. I'm not surprised at all.
Well, what a fascinating rabbit trail we have been on today, explaining what's going on with the media and this gatekeeping system they've had. They're terrified, by the way. They are terrified of having, whether it's on the left or the right, like that doesn't matter to them. They're terrified of meritocracy, bypassing the gate they've had up for so long. The castle has been stormed, and they are storming mad about it. Frankly, though, I'm glad.
Here's the other thing. If you actually are a talented reporter, why wouldn't you want to be independent? Like, if you're really good at your job and you know what you're doing, why would you not want to? I would be more inclined to move away from these giant outlets and do something on my own and actually flex my talent and build my own audience where I don't have to, and I could just be myself, because I'm pretty sure like all of these, Fox, MSNBC, CNN, ABC, I'm sure they got some handcuffs on these guys, to a certain extent where they can't even report what they really feel or what they really want to say. But if you have the talent to build an audience where you don't need some giant corporation to help build your audience for you, to platform you, there's YouTube. Go out there and be a YouTuber, get your own blog and go on X. And, there's all kinds of different ways for these, talented reporters, if they're really talented and not just propped up like Joy Reid, because I don't think Joy Reid's career is done. I don't think she'll ever get another eyeball on her. But you have the opportunity now because of new media. Get out there and do your thing. I mean, I would see this if I was one of these guys at one of these legacy media outlets. I would see new media as the most amazing opportunity that's ever come my way, and I would be looking to move in that direction.
And what unleashed this? The fact that the Joe Rogan Experience interview with Donald Trump and J.D. Vance beat the debates for viewership. Wowza.
Yep.
And yet again, folks, we have come to the end. But what a video it has been, and we hope you agree. Folks, if you had a good time with us, consider clicking that like button, share, subscribe, click it, stick it to the algorithms. It is the notification bell, and drop a comment right on down below. We care about your thoughts. Folks, we also want to invite you to partake in thatparkplace.com. Of course, www. You get the idea. Thatparkplace.com. It is the website telling the truth, and it is a rising star across the web for pop culture news coverage and analysis. Go over there and bookmark it today. Folks, we're bookmarking you as a great guest that we appreciate. Until the next time we have the honor of spending time with you, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, folks, you better believe it, keep having fun.
Why listen to music made by people and companies who really don't like you? Check out Vacation Radio today and prepare for all new content made by the people behind the WDW Pro Channel. It's the place you need for all the music. That should be fun. Hundreds of songs, every genre you can imagine. Listen live on YouTube and enjoy a set list that's always sunny. It's Vacation Radio. What are you waiting for? Every WDW Pro video has a link to Vacation Radio in the video description. Try it out and subscribe today.